In 1989, Michael O'Donnell was the star of the high school basketball team, with a college scout in the seats prepared to watch his title game and a college grant insured for him if he played well. Just as the game is going to begin, he sees his girlfriend Scarlett by the seats. He pantomimes blowing her a kiss, then goes to her when she looks exceptionally upset. She attempts to imagine all is great, yet at last she lets him know she's pregnant. The game begins, yet he can't imagine everything except Scarlett, and when he sees her leaving, he throws the ball away and leaves the game and the grant to marry her. After 20 years, Mike's life is a wreck. Scarlett has separated from him, driving him to move in with his high school best friend Ned Gold, presently a nerdy mobile program developer. At his specific employment, his supervisor passes him in favor of a lady the manager prefers who's undeniably less capable, and Mike detonates at the boss and is terminated from his job. He comes by his old high school returning, sees his 1989 group photograph in the grandstand, and thinks back about the existence he discarded. Then, at that point, he experiences a strange janitor who inquires as to whether he truly wishes he was a teen back in high school once more, and he does. On the way home, he sees the janitor obviously prepared to jump from a bridge and he attempts to stop him. However, the janitor out of nowhere vanishes and Mike falls in the river himself, where he's magically changed back to age 17. After he convinces Ned who he truly is, Mike decides he's been given the opportunity to live his life over again. However, he needs to get everything right this time to win the basketball grant and attend a university. With Ned acting like his dad, he re-signs up for high school under the name Mark Gold, living with Ned in his house loaded with super advanced toys. However, as he begins to fit into school life, he understands his little girl is dating the vicious basketball captain Stan, who just needs sex from her, and that Stan is also harassing and torturing his son. He becomes friends with Alex and finds that his son has real talent in basketball and can hit three-point shots easily. Scarlett is flabbergasted how much her child's new friend seems as though her ex-husband in 1989. Mark begins assisting Scarlett landscape her backyard, since she desires to begin a landscaping business. He acquires another appreciation for her talents, yet he regularly comes near her or contacts her in manners she thinks improper between a grown-up lady and a teenaged kid. He likewise comforts Maggie when Stan dumps her for declining to put out. He tells her that sometime she'll find a person who cherishes her the manner in which she deserves. The basketball team wins a comeback from behind, with Mark doing a ton, yet Alex makes the winning three-point shot. In the interim, Ned has been stricken with Jane, the high school principal, starting from the first day he went to her office to enroll his son, yet his nerdy endeavors to dazzle her have just appalled her. At last, in return for buying laptops for all the students in the school, she consents to go to supper with him on that very night. Mark hosts a party at his home to celebrate winning the game. Mark informs just specific individuals concerning the party, yet kids text it all over and the entire school appears. Ned's romantic supper with Jane is going nowhere until he finally admits that he's been a failure with woman. He's simply a nerd, obsesses with the Lord of the Rings. She slowly smiles, and starts speaking Elvish, one of the languages in the Lord of the Rings. And he understands that she's also a Lord of the Rings enthusiast. Mark's feelings for Scarlett are so strong that he has no control over himself and he attempts to kiss her. Scarlett is appalled and slaps him, then takes off with Mark following her, yelling that he's husband and the father of her children. Maggie and her friends all see this and are disturbed. The following morning, cleaning up the chaos after the party, Ned reminds Mark that the meeting for Mike O'Donnell's final divorce order with Scarlett is shortly, and they race to the court. Ned professes to be Mike's legal lawyer, and they're being tossed out when Mark says he's there to peruse a letter that Mike wrote to his wife. Scarlett consents to hear the letter, and Mark reads it with emotional power in his voice that amazes her, in addition to insights regarding their romance that only her husband might have known. Mark wraps up by saying that, since he sees that she doesn't need him in her life any longer, he's content to let her go because he loves her so much. After Mark gets done and is driven away from the court, Scarlett gets the letter and finds it's simply a piece of paper with bearings to the town hall on it. Mark wasn't perusing a letter by any stretch of the imagination, however, some way or another he knew everything he had told her. Mark tries to forget Scarlett and focuses on basketball, since winning the grant and attending a university appear to be the main thing he has left for him. As the game is going to begin, Mark sees Scarlett in the seats. He pantomimes blowing her a kiss, using a gesture identical to the one Mike had used in 1989, when he was playing in the same championship game and saw her standing by the grandstands. Scarlett finally realizes that Mark really is her husband, some way or another turned 17 once more. She leaves, going down a similar corridor she utilized when she left the game in 1989. We see the strange janitor grinning in the stands, and when Mark gets up to speed to Scarlett, he's the grown-up Mike O'Donnell once more. Mike tells Scarlett he's ruined his marriage since he spent the most recent 20 years angry at her for losing him his opportunity to set off for college. However, presently he understands his family is the main thing that is important to him, and he requests one more opportunity. A few days later, Mike goes to Ned's home to get his stuff and return his key. He finds Ned in bed with Jane, the two of them wearing elf ears. Mike expresses gratitude toward Ned for all he's finished, and Ned gives Mike a present. A whistle for his new position, because Jane has made Mike the new coach of the high school basketball team.